Yeah, it's very interesting. You know, we live with these miracles every day, cell phones, and you know, there used to be a time if you wanted to see someone, you had to go to their front door, and then you could call them on the phone, and now you can talk to them across the world, and you can send them messages instantly. So, you know, that in many ways, if it was in a different time, it would be considered magic. So what I do is kind of almost silly by contrast, and yet, you know, there's still a capacity for human beings to be amazed. I think they want to be amazed.
Yes, I'm down there, see, it says, what does it say? Noon to 1 p.m. at Prairie Kitchen. Magic, juggling, I don't do juggling, I don't know where they got that from, but they said I was funny. I met the organizer, so they're happy, they're going to bring me back next year, so that's great. So now let's go hit the streets of Chicago and show you some more stuff. But you haven't seen the cup trick like this one.
I don't think so. The one I know only has 3 cups.
Well, these actually are 3 cups, you see.
Oh, yeah.
But it looks like an old flower pot, doesn't it? But it's not. It's a solid cup made of, what? Copper. Let's make some noise, shall we? Magic in its simplest, purest form began on the streets. You know, people would travel to fairs, or they'd travel to towns and do it. Magic in taverns. And you know, now that it's winter, that's one of the other things I do. I'll visit bars and see if they'll let me do a show. Yeah. And pass my hat at the end of it. You saw the trick with the bunny rabbits.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that will get very strong reactions. They open their hand, and you know, there's 2 bunny rabbits. In fact, on the street, it's very fun. That I've had people actually cross over the street to come and see what I was doing, because some of the reactions I got to people opening their hands. Hold up, squeeze up, keep her safe. Welcome her to the family. She's in danger, you know. You know why she's in danger? The boy bunny, bad boy. You must keep her safe. Now, fortunately, she's watching like a hawk, so everything's good. Ah, you looked at me. You know how I can tell? Because he did disappear. And you see, when he did that, he ran up here, he went over here, and he hopped down here. He was looking for a girl, he find a girl, the girl is in there. You go and you perform that on the street, and in the summer it's very busy in Chicago. So you could be doing that, I think, maybe 15, 16, 20, 22 times a day.
Yeah.
So if you do that 6 or 7 days a week, you know, you really get a sense of how to put the show together, how to keep it tight. You've got some sense of managing the audience, what it is that will, you know, make them stay, keep them grounded. So once you've hit a kind of winning formula, you know, you don't want to mess with it too much.
Exactly.
You know, they say the difference between an amateur magician and a professional magician. An amateur magician has the same audience and has to have new tricks to show the same audience. Right. Professional magician has the same tricks, and every day there's a different audience.
Yeah.
And that's very true on the street.
We'll put them both and squeeze them very tight. We will have a sponge bunny wedding. Is that okay? Now, when you came downtown today, did you know bunny rabbits would be getting married in your hand? Aren't you glad you came?
Yes.
Good. So, it's a memory, you see. This is what the holidays are for. So, they get married, and they take a trip. They call that trip a honeymoon, yes? Yes. No, they call it a bunny moon. And then after the bunny moon, there is a thing they call the bunny boom. Do you know what the bunny boom is?
No.
Good, because you're far too young. Put your hand right here. Open it so everyone can see the boom. Oh. 5. This girl, give her a round of applause. Yes.
But, you know, the most interesting thing when you start to do magic is you realize just how little people actually observe, how little they watch, how little they see. And you can do something right under their very nose, and they'll miss it. Like the cup and ball trick.
Yeah.
You know, you lift the cups at the end, and those bright red tennis balls. You know, obviously, I put the balls out of the cup. Right, you don't get there by magic, right?
Right. I know. I mean,
but you know, you on I think the first show I did, you heard the response when I lifted the cups. You know, there's a
yeah,
and it's not unusual for me to get that response. And for that trick, often people will just burst into spontaneous applause because, you know, there were little silver balls there.
Right.
And then there were big red tennis. Big green tennis balls.
Yeah.
And it's all about perception and what you can see and what you don't see.
Yeah.
So they're studying why it is that certain magic tricks work. You know, what is it in the human brain that magicians are tapping into, even if they didn't know it.
Right.
how you get them to have memories, and how you can kind of plant false memories in them, so that by what you say or what you recap or what you do, you can create the memory so that they walk away. If they explain what happened to their friends, it will actually sound a far more impressive trick than if you saw it live.
Then what actually happened?
The memory creates a stronger impression of what the trick's like.
Right, because I mean, the illusion is so much more than just the actual trick itself, than the physical thing.
Right. So, and it's all tied into what's going on with the brain. Street's kind of a combination of there's three branches of magic, you might say, or three kind of venues. One they call stage magic, and then parlor magic, or kind of cabaret, and then close-up. The street show is kind of a combination of kind of parlor magic and close-up magic. There's some that take place in the hands, and then there's some that just takes place, very, very close to you. So that the multiplying bunnies or making the card appear in the box. Those are kind of close-up tricks. And then making the bill appear in the lemon. That's probably more of a kind of parlor. Although you could do that on a big stage too.
He loves to travel. He loves to go down through the top of the top cup. And he loves to go down through the top of the second cup. And he loves to go down through the top of the bottom cup to leave us with a cup and a ball. Now, watch closely, because this is where it gets really good. This is what we've got. We've got one cup, one ball.
And that's very true on the street.
One cup, no ball.
So
now, listen,
you get the opportunity to take a handful of tricks and really get them to a level of performance that you can leave a very powerful, very strong impression with people. But it's also a great place to practice, because the best way to find out whether your magic works is to do it on the file.
I'll tell you a secret. It doesn't matter how many times I take a ball from the cup and put the ball in the pouch, the ball goes back to the cup. Because with this trick, wherever there's a cup, there'll be a ball. Say goodbye to the ball. Same's true over here, look, just because there's a cup. Thank you. There'll be a ball. Say goodbye to the ball. Same is true over here, just because there's a cup, there'll be. Well, that's all three of the balls. That's just to make sure you're paying attention. So that's it, my friends. The cups and balls, oldest trick in the world. And you remember why it's called the cups and balls. Look at the cups, watch the cups, and take your eye off the cups, because then you remember why this trick is called the cups and balls. It is because it uses cups.
It's interesting that adults are a lot easier to fool than kids, and you have to be at a certain age to appreciate magic. Sometimes people will come up with like a 2-year-old. Can you show my 2-year-old a trick? It's like there's no point, because until you know what's possible in the world, you don't know what's impossible. So you have to have reached a certain age where you're aware of the way the universe normally functions. So then you can be amazed by the fact that now it seems to be operating in a different way. So the older you get, in fact, I think the easier you become to fool. The other thing is you just take so many things for granted. And one of the ways that magic works is by kind of taking the assumptions people have and then surprising them by doing something different, and that's part of the element of surprise. And I think that's ultimately the thing about magic. The thing that gives me the upper hand over my audience is that I know what I'm going to do and they don't. That's the danger of doing something like this. People who see this and then come see my street show, they will know what's going to happen. So, maybe I shouldn't have done this. No, they'll forget. They'll forget, and because the other beautiful thing is, what you see on camera here and what you see live are different things. Because I may not be able to fool that camera, but I'll be able to fool you.